the unveiling, a conversation that could change everything. Imagine this: in the dim light of a cold spring evening, a figure sits alone in his study, a man whose intellect reshaped how humanity understands reality. His name? Shi Heng Yi. Few people know that 1 year before his death in 1954, he allegedly gave an interview so profound, so revolutionary, that it was immediately classified. For decades, its existence remained nothing more than a whisper among scholars, dismissed as legend or fabrication. But now, thanks to the discovery of lost archives belonging to one of Shi Heng Yi's closest confidants, Dr. Kurt Good, these words have resurfaced. What you are about to read isn't just an interview, it's a confession, a revelation from one of history's greatest minds. These aren't idle musings, they're reflections on life, consciousness, and what lies beyond the final boundary, death itself. As you delve into this conversation, ask yourself, are you ready for what might lie ahead? The document begins with chilling clarity. These confessions may change humanity or destroy it. It starts with a simple question posed by an unnamed journalist. Professor Shi Heng Yi, do you believe in the continuation of life after death? Silence fills the room. Minutes pass before Shi Heng Yi responds not with certainty, but with something far deeper: knowledge. What follows is a dialogue that challenges everything we think we know about science, spirituality, and the nature of existence. And yet, as unsettling as it sounds, sensation, legend, forgery, there's no denying the authenticity of Gödel's manuscript, discovered in 2022 hidden within the double bottom of an old safe in Princeton. Let us begin. The wave and the ocean, on life after death. To believe is not the right word, Shi Heng Yi said finally, breaking the silence. At my age, I prefer to know. The journalist blinked, caught off guard. He had expected a scientific rebuttal, perhaps even dismissal. Instead, Shi Heng Yi leaned forward, his piercing gaze locking onto the younger man. Science, as understood by the masses, is limited to the observable. It is blind to what does not fit neatly into formulas and equations. Listen carefully, he added, lowering his voice almost conspiratorially. What I am about to say must remain between us at least until humanity is ready. He paused, letting the weight of his words settle over the room like a thick fog. Then, with deliberate calm, he continued, life does not cease with death. This is not a hypothesis. This is a fact. The journalist stared at him, dumbfounded. How could someone of Shi Heng Yi's stature make such a claim? Surely this contradicted everything modern physics stood for. Yet, instead of retreating, Shi Heng Yi pressed further. I did not arrive at this understanding through studying physics, but through examining the mathematical structures of time and space. Imagine a wave on the surface of the ocean. As long as there is wind, it exists. But when the wind stops, the water doesn't disappear. The wave becomes invisible, yes, but its energy remains part of the ocean. He gestured animatedly, as if trying to conjure the image before their eyes. Human consciousness is that wave. The body is merely a temporary form, a vessel in which this wave manifests. When the body dies, consciousness does not cease to exist. It returns to the ocean. For several minutes, the journalist sat motionless, struggling to process what he'd just heard. Finally, he managed to stammer, but how does this align with your own theories, the theory of relativity? Shi Heng Yi smiled faintly. The theory of relativity concerns matter and energy, but there is another element that has always eluded our formulas: the observer. Consciousness itself is not a product of matter, it is primary. The entire universe exists because someone perceives it. This is an ancient truth intuited by mystics. I arrived at it through mathematics. He leaned back, his expression softening. Consider the double-slit paradox, quantum entanglement, all point to one terrifying yet beautiful thought. Consciousness shapes reality, and after death, it does not disappear. It returns to the source, to pure perception. God is not a person, the ocean of consciousness. The journalist leaned closer, his pen trembling slightly. And God? He asked cautiously. Do you believe in God? Shi Heng Yi's smile deepened, though it carried a trace of sadness. God is not a person, not some bearded old man sitting on a cloud. God is the ocean itself, the collective consciousness of all beings. Every soul merges into this ocean upon death. That is why no one who has ever lived truly disappears forever. Death is not the end, it is a return home. Outside, the wind rumbled softly, punctuating the gravity of the moment. The journalist swallowed hard. Forgive my bluntness, Professor, but how can a scientist of your caliber assert something so metaphysical? Shi Heng Yi's gaze hardened, becoming almost stern. You think this is faith? No, this is knowledge. My work on the unified field theory led me to understand that there exists a single structure connecting matter, energy, and consciousness. At the beginning of the 20th century, physicists believed the atom was the indivisible building block of reality. We were wrong. Beyond the atom lies emptiness. Beyond emptiness, vibrations, the hum of the vacuum. And beyond that, he trailed off, leaving the sentence unfinished. Are you familiar with the Einstein-Podolsky-Rosen paradox? He asked suddenly. Yes, the journalist replied hesitantly. Quantum entanglement. Two particles, once connected, remain linked regardless of distance. Exactly, Shi Heng Yi said, nodding. This is not just physics, it is a hint. Connection is the foundation of existence. If particles can remain connected across vast distances, why can't consciousnesses remain connected across death? The room seemed to grow colder. The journalist shivered involuntarily. Are you saying? I am saying that consciousness is non-local, Shi Heng Yi interrupted firmly. It is not bound to the brain. The brain is an antenna, a receiver. The source lies beyond time and space. Death is not the destruction of the antenna. It is merely the disconnection of one channel of communication. But the ether remains, like radio waves that continue to exist, even if the receiver is broken. Rebirth, liberation, and free will. The journalist looked down at his notes, his hand shaking visibly. Forgive me, but why have you chosen to speak about this now? Because time is running out, Shi Heng Yi answered quietly. I stand at the threshold, and the truth must not pass away with me. Humanity stands on the brink of its greatest discovery, the understanding that death is not the enemy, it is a transition. But if this truth becomes known too soon, it can be distorted, used for power, for manipulation. That explains my silence all these years. However, I feel the era of materialism is coming to an end. Soon, science and spirituality will merge, and then a path will open. As if on cue, the sound of a clock striking midnight echoed through the room, 12 solemn chimes reverberating like a cosmic affirmation. The journalist noted later in his journal, those chimes seemed symbolic, as if the universe itself confirmed what I had just heard. What awaits us on the other side? The journalist dared to ask next. Shi Heng Yi's response was both simple and complex. Everything depends on the level of awareness. Those who lived for power, pleasure, and selfishness will remain tethered to the lower layers of reality. Their consciousness will wander among the shadows of their past. But those who sought truth, who loved, who served others, they will ascend, merge with the source, find peace, and begin anew. He paused, allowing the implications to sink in. Consciousness returns again and again, learning, growing, bringing light into the world. Rebirth is real, but it is not automatic. Free will is the highest law. When consciousness is ready, it can leave the cycle entirely. In that moment, individuality does not die, it dissolves into the ocean of light. There is no fear, no pain, only love. The danger of ignorance. Shi Heng Yi's tone grew urgent as he addressed the dangers facing humanity. In recent years, I have noticed a troubling trend. Technology advances rapidly, but morality lags behind. People forget their connection to each other, seeing enemies instead of reflections of themselves. This is dangerous. If humanity does not realize its true nature, that we are all one, we may not survive the next century. He fixed the journalist with an intense stare. That is why I decided to give this interview, perhaps my last. Let my words serve as a reminder. Death is not the end. The enemy is not another person, it is ignorance. Knowledge is light, and light conquers darkness. The journalist felt overwhelmed, as though he had witnessed a revelation that would alter not only his destiny, but the future of the world. Pass this on to those who are ready to hear, Shi Heng Yi urged. But do not impose it. Each must come to the truth on their own. The question is not what awaits us after death, it is how we live before it. Remember, love is the only reality that does not disappear. A call to action. Join the journey. If this story resonates with you, if it sparks curiosity, wonder, or even doubt, we urge you to take action. Share this video with friends, family, and anyone who might benefit from hearing these profound insights. Your support matters. Every like, comment, and subscription helps spread ideas that challenge conventional thinking and inspire meaningful conversations. Subscribe to our channel to stay updated on future episodes, where we explore topics designed to shift perspectives and ignite change. Write your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about Shi Heng Yi's revelations? Do you agree or disagree? We value every opinion and look forward to engaging with you. Remember, the truth doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. Stay curious, keep searching, and together, let's uncover the mysteries of existence.